Oh God, I'm nervous. Okay. This is not going to be an ASMR video. This is a video about mental health. And I know that it seems the subject is... Some people think the subject is talked about enough now, which it's not. That's a lie. It's not talked about enough. Just because it's talked about more does not mean that it's talked about enough. And there's still a huge stigma around mental health, which it's BS. There shouldn't be a stigma around it. It is okay to have anxiety. It is okay to be depressed. It is okay to have bipolar disorder. It's okay to be schizophrenic. It's okay to have any type of mental issue. It's okay. The only thing that makes it not okay is if you know that something is wrong and you choose not to help yourself, which I know very, very well how hard it can be to help yourself. I started having anxiety attacks when I was 12. I'm 28 now. And I went on Zoloft when I was 15 years old. I did not take it seriously. I did not take it the right way. I refused to talk to my therapist about pretty much anything. I had everything handed to me to help me. And I just decided I didn't want it. So I stopped going to therapy when I was almost 17. Actually, I think the therapy and the Zoloft started when I was 14. But bottom line is, didn't take the Zoloft the right way. I treated therapy like a joke. There was a lot of times that I would just sit in my therapist's office and we would just stare at each other and I wouldn't say anything. And then that stopped. And for the next 10 years, I just dealt with it. Meaning I didn't deal with it at all. I just let it all build up to the point of just accepting that this is how I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be this anxious, depressed mess for the rest of my life. This is just it. This is the card that I was handed, so oh well, there's nothing I can do about it. And then 2020 happened, and my mental health I started experiencing new things because the anxiety just turned into like thinking, wow, like my anxiety didn't even know how to control itself anymore. Like I just started to feel numb. I had no emotions about anything at all. Like it was just, I was just listening to the news all the time, which I knew was making it worse, but I didn't know how to do anything else. I didn't know how to really live. Like I didn't know how to go to the grocery store. I didn't know how to do anything, which I know so many people went through that last year because, I mean, we were told don't go anywhere. And I know there's a lot of people that had the same experience of me, as we already don't really go anywhere. Like, we're introverts. We don't really like socializing with people that much. But all of a sudden being told like, wait, no, what you're doing already is right, but it's not enough apparently because the numbers of COVID kept spiking and all these terrible things kept happening. That gets thrown into the thing of you have no control over this. And that's, my anxiety at least is very deep rooted with, if there is something I don't have control over, or it could even be the tiniest little thing in the world, and it will set my anxiety off. So for months, it was just spiraling out of control, and then depression started, and then paranoia started, and all these other little things started happening. I'm like, wow. Like, I started thinking to myself, how would I feel if like I stuck with trying to take care of myself when I was a teenager. Like, what if I actually looked at it as it's okay to have mental health issues? It is okay to have anxiety. It's okay to be depressed, because a lot of my friends, they didn't get it. Like, when I told them, yeah, I'm taking this medication now and I'm going to therapy, they kind of just looked at me like, but why? And when I would explain to them, like, I mean, I worry about stuff all the time and I just get randomly sad, and it's just, no one really got it. And it made me feel like it just, if I ignored it, then it would go away and I would be normal. But of course, it's become very clear over the years, there's no such thing as normal. I am rambling and this makes no sense, but hey, anxiety. But anyway, in late June, beginning of July last year, I realized I really had to do something for myself, or it was gonna get really, really bad. And I was really scared of how bad it could get. It's like, when I was a teenager, I did have suicidal thoughts. I never tried to go through with anything, but they were there. And I was really terrified that they were going to start popping up again. And I didn't want to hit that point. And I would say, luckily, the internet makes it very, very easy to get help. This is the best iced tea I have ever had. Mwah. Next to Arizona. Anyway, I signed up for Alpha Medical and got hooked up with a nurse practitioner who put me back on Zoloft, which I specifically requested it. Like, I told her, I'm like, listen, if you think that would be the best medication, like, I would really like to go back on it, because I want to see what would happen if I took it the right way, if I took it the way I'm supposed to. And for Alpha Medical, I was able to get a free month of BetterHelp, which is an online counseling service. And I've stuck with it ever since. You know, my insurance does not cover it, so I pay for it each month, but it's made such a wild difference. I mean, of course, therapy, there's a lot of, it's hard, because obviously your issues get uncovered. The stuff that you don't want to talk about, the things that you've buried deep down inside, they all end up coming out, whether you like it or not. But it feels good, because then you start to realize why you feel this way, or why that happened, or why you reacted to this way. And you also start to realize, hey, maybe there's more than one issue going on here. So I started doing that, and all I could think was, what headspace would I be in if I had done this years ago? If instead of just letting the stigma around mental health just get to me, where would I be? And then I realized that there's so many people that, especially in 2020, because of everything that went on, 2020 was crap. It was one bad thing after another, and there were so many people that were just hiding the fact that they weren't okay, because they were afraid of how people in their life were going to react to it. Which, if you're afraid of how someone in your life is going to react to you saying that you feel depressed, or you're scared, or you're anxious, or you have anything going on, that's fine. You can be scared, but you need to try and find the strength to even just tell anybody, even a stranger on the internet, just tell them, like, this is happening. Like, just post an anonymous thing on Reddit or something. Reddit is great. They have an anxiety subreddit that, it's great. It's filled with so many supportive people that are there to help you realize it is okay to feel the way that you're feeling. And if you do have someone in your life that you feel comfortable talking to, then tell them what's going on. And if they make you feel like crap for it, if they make you feel like any bit of what you're saying is not important, or it's weird, or makes you damaged or anything, they don't need to be in your life. They don't need to be in your life. If anybody around you cannot handle the fact that you're asking for help by talking to them about what's going on in your head, then they don't deserve you. They don't deserve you. And you definitely don't deserve to be treated like that. You don't deserve to be dismissed when you're talking about how you feel. It's so important to talk about how you feel. And I got lucky growing up. My mom, my dad, they made me feel very comfortable talking about my feelings. And that also made me realize very young that a lot of people don't understand that it's okay to talk about your feelings. But it has to be okay. We can't keep going on in this world with these people acting like everything's okay when it's not. There are so many people suffering because they're afraid to admit that something is going on. And I don't want you to be afraid to say, hey, I have anxiety attacks, or hey, I'm really, really depressed, or just anything. You don't have to be scared. It's okay. There are so many of us out there that feel the same way as you. Sure, our stories may be different, but we have the same stuff going on in the head. We worry about everything. We wonder, hey, do I have the strength to get out of bed? We go days without showering. We go through ups. We go through downs. I'm in a down right now. I mean, it's almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I am still in my bathrobe. I have not washed my face. I have not brushed my teeth. I have not taken a shower in 5 days. But I got out of bed. I had breakfast. I cleaned out one of the cat litter boxes. And you know what? That's a win. If you have trouble, if the biggest thing for you is that you can't get out of bed, which I understand so well how it feels to literally just lay in bed all day long because you don't have the strength to get out of bed. If you can get out of bed today, that is a win. If you can get out of bed, even if it's just for 5 minutes, if 5 minutes is too much for you, get right back into bed. Because at least you got out of the bed. And it's okay. If that is the biggest win for you, that's okay. Because you got out of bed. And you did it for 5 minutes. And know what? Maybe the next day you could do it for 10. And if not, it's fine. But just remember, you were able to get out of bed. And if you were able to do it once, you can do it again. If you try to talk to somebody about your mental health and they shut you down, they don't deserve you. I know it sounds cliche, but if someone can't handle you when you're at your worst, they do not deserve you when you're at your best. When you're at your worst, you're wrapped up in a little cocoon, and you know what? One day you're going to turn to a beautiful butterfly. Or maybe you're a seed in the forest, and one day you're going to grow into this big, giant, beautiful tree. Or maybe you're a guppy down in the ocean, and you're going to end up finding the most beautiful, big, lush coral reef in the entire world, and you're going to live there forever. No one deserves you at your worst. Wrong. No one deserves you at your best if they cannot handle you at your worst. And I know it's cliche, but it's true. Just remember that you're doing okay. You're doing fine. You're doing the best that you can. And if you know you're not doing the best that you can, it's okay to get help. There are plenty of people out there that will help you. I'll put some links in the description of this video. Neither of the two companies that I mentioned in this video sponsored this or know anything about this. It's just my experience. It's that those two places really, they helped a lot. And it's okay to have ups and it's okay to have downs. Like I said, I am in a down right now. But it's okay. Because I know it gets better than this. And if you're in a down right now too, it'll get better. It takes time, but even the hardest things always get easier.